Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk, back another video day. And today, the Toronto Raptors have traded for PJ Tucker. The Toronto Raptors are adding in PJ Tucker, a second-round pick, and cash considerations. Solid trade for the Raptors here. I was looking at the trade machine last night after the Ingram trade, and I was looking at the roster, and I looked at Davion Mitchell's contract, $6 million, 1 year left on his deal. And then I've watched a little bit of the Raptors this year, and I've seen how good guys like Jamal Shead have been. I'm a Houston Cougars fan living in Houston, so I know how good Jamal Shead is even before he became a rookie. I knew that was a steal for the Raptors in the second round. He's been really good for a second round draft pick. Walter, I know, has also been really solid this year as well. Both guys, I think, are going to have a good future with this Raptors team. And Davion Mitchell's a great player, has had a great season, has averaged 6 and 5 this year, has shot amazing for three at 36%. And he's not doing this on purpose, but it's a hard way to say this, but he's holding those guys back. Sure, they've gotten some minutes at times this year, but as the Raptors start to get healthy, if they are fully healthy, they're not going to get a lot of minutes. You got Quickly and RJ starting with Ingram and Scotty and Pirtle, and then you got Mitchell and Grady off the bench as well, and Ochai. There's no minutes for Shed or Walter. You know, if you have Mitchell on this team, and with him being an expiring deal for this Raptors team, and you have the opportunity for the second half of the season to give your two rookies more opportunities to play basketball and learn as young players like Walter and Shed. Yeah, 100% have to trade Davion Mitchell, especially with him being an expiring contract. That makes it even more easy to trade him. But he's been great this year. It's not like he hasn't been good. I think with this Raptors team that's they're 16 and 35, you got to focus more on your future. And that's exactly why Brandon Ingram was traded there, and they're ready to start working on an extension or re-signing him. And so, just to me, I think that, you know, they need to let those two guys improve, and you can do that by trading Davion Mitchell. And not to mention, you get a second-round pick in this deal as well to add to your draft capital. That can be key for a young team trying to improve their roster. And then you get cash that can also be key to trying to improve a young roster, to spend cash. And then, and then you get PJ Tucker, who's a veteran. Look, I'm kind of conflicted about PJ Tucker and what his role will be. We've seen PJ Tucker get passed around, like things I don't want to say on YouTube. But I don't know. This could be the team he sticks around. If you would ask me 24 hours before the Brandon Ingram, does PJ Tucker stay in Toronto? I would have said, oh, absolutely not. They're going to trade him again, or they're going to cut him. But after trading for Brandon Ingram, just to me, this is the way I feel about it. It kind of feels like this possibility of maybe the Raptors trying to win now. Like, the Raptors are sure they're 16 and 35, but they're only 6.5 games out from being in the play-in, and you only got to catch up to the Brooklyn Nets, who are terrible. And with the Brooklyn Nets are only have a 1-game lead on the Raptors, or a half a game lead on the Raptors, something like that. You got to catch up to the Bulls, who are going to be a disaster the rest of the season with everybody they're letting go. So I think for the Raptors, it's as they're the 13th seed right now, you got to get to the 10 seed. I think it'll be easy to pass the Bulls and the Nets, so that gets you to the 11th seed. You need to get one more spot. Who do you catch up to? You got to catch up to the Philadelphia 76ers, who are starting to get healthy. That's the difficult part, and that's where I think the Raptors will fail. I predict the Raptors finish the season as the 11th seed, but if they're going to try to make a play-in push, which I don't suggest, if I'm the Raptors, I continue to try to lose games, even though you got Brandon Ingram now. Try to lose games, get a worse draft pick, and you add another stud in the top 5 of the draft this season next to Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett and Jakob Pirtle and Emmanuel Quickly. That's what I would do if I'm the Raptors. This is the rest of the season is play for a better draft pick and also add to this team. But it it's not looking good that they could get to the play-in, but it's not impossible. And especially the teams you got to catch up to. Philly's been banged up for most of the year. They can have injuries and start to lose some games, and the Raptors can start to win, and the Nets, that's easy. The Bulls, that's easy. So it's not impossible that the Raptors get in the play-in, and PJ Tucker could be a helping point of getting into the play-in. He's a great three-point shooter, good defender, good veteran. It can be great for helping young guys. You got a young kid that they just drafted, Jonathan Mogbo, I believe his name is. He's a young power forward and has some potential. PJ Tucker could work with him. It just depends how PJ Tucker feels about it. I feel like he wants to win. He's already won a championship, of course, with the Bucks in 2021, but he wants to win. And does he really want to stay with a 16-35 Toronto Raptors team at this point in his career? Even if they have a great future and he could he could be a part of something that could become special. But let's also talk about this. I didn't even think about this when this trade happened. PJ Tucker, if he stays in Toronto, he would end his career where he begun it. And I think that'd be interesting for PJ Tucker. He played his first season of his career in 2006 with the Toronto Raptors, played 17 games for the Raptors in 2006, and did not play much, only averaged 2 points per game in his rookie season. And that's when we saw him play overseas from 2007 through 2012. He came back to the league in 2012-2013 season, and that's when he became a really good player for the Phoenix Suns. And then actually in the 16-17 season went back to Toronto. At the end of the 16-17 season, he got traded back to Toronto, had 24 games and 4 starts in Toronto, and 6 points per game, 6 rebounds per game. So this is Tucker's third stint in Toronto. Started his career off there, then went there the 16-17 season, played a lot better basketball. And then obviously after the 16-17 season, he signed with the Houston Rockets, and that's where I think he played his best basketball of his career. And then he's kind of been from team to team, won a championship with Milwaukee, had a big role in their championship run in the postseason, then went to Miami and was a starter in Miami in the 2021-22 season, and was a huge part of their team that made to the Eastern Conference Finals and fell short to the Boston Celtics. Then went to Philadelphia first season and was a part of their team as a starter. Started the season off last season with Philadelphia, but shortly after that got traded with James Harden to the Clippers. Spent the rest of the season with them, but didn't play much. And then this season hasn't played at all. Stuck on the Clippers roster. Got traded to the Jazz with Mo Bamba for Patty Mills and Drew Eubanks. Then the Jazz traded him to Miami last night in the Butler trade, and here's Miami trading him again for Davion Mitchell. It's been a rough ride for PJ Tucker in the last year or so in the NBA wise of, just tough luck. But let me know your thoughts on the trade for the Raptors in the comment section, and peace out.